Hello and welcome to the SnuggleBear podcast. How you doing?
Hey, bitches. Hey, bitches. Smile.
Good morning, the internet! It's me, Ben Benuel Paddock-Otharlo, Total Badass McBadassitude, and I'm here to welcome you as Chief Virgin Ambassador to this new episode of the SnuggleBear podcast taking place on International Couples Official Bragging Rights Day, Valentine's Day. How is everybody doing? Howdy, 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 howdy. And that's my overdone intro.
What the fuck did we just say about him taking the show?
We fucking called it, and he is freaking rocking the mic.
Anyways, yes, this is our special guest, Ben Paddock. He's an animator here on YouTube and stuff, and he makes some very nice pictures.
Yeah,
he's a close friend.
Yep, yeah. I'm probably more well known for the TF2 comic dubs, and having a bunch of that stuff going on.
All right, Ben. Here are your 5 seconds of fame. So tell everybody about it.
Well, I 5 seconds to explain anything. What am I supposed to explain?
Just explain yourself.
It's a figure of speech.
I don't have to explain shit. I am who I am, and that is what that is, bitches.
That's right, bitches.
All right.
Anyways, okay. As usual, we have about 15 topics, so I'm going to start the random number generator to see what we talk about first.
May I just say, I think Ben is, yes, he's the first, but probably the best guest we will ever have.
Absolutely.
It's the sugar talking, not me.
The random number generator came up with why mobile games suck.
Well, back in my days, we had to buy these clunky game consoles from the market on our horse-drawn carts to get our portable games entertainment, and they were great, except when they betrayed me and turned me off video games for all eternity, and now all these kids are walking around with their games on their flat-screen mini-computers with their Flappy Birds and Angry Birds and Fruit Ninjas and gluttonous insect lizard things. Why, those are a bunch of filthy casuals, and I do not care for the mobile game scene at all.
Okay. Anyways.
That was beautiful. That was poetry, man.
That was quite poetry. Congratulations, yeah. All right. So, specifically what I wanted to talk about with this topic is generally, why is it that mobile games fuck up so badly, such as the Dungeon Keeper franchise? It essentially went to die in the mobile game market.
Good.
It takes several days to do what took literally half a second in the original Dungeon Keeper games.
Yeah. That's EA being a bunch of gluttonous shit fucks and thinking that their audiences are fucking stupid. And this is a example of people in the games industry seeing games as nothing more than a soulless vehicle to shovel boatloads of money out of unsuspecting people by aping a popular franchise, which of course my brother and I, and even my mum plays the old Dungeon Keeper. That is an excellent game, and it was dealt a serious blow of injustice by EA, so thanks for that, you pricks. I'm glad you got called out on your bullshit for what it was, and don't think you can get away with that or anything else in the future. Come at me, bro.
We might as well talk about why EA is the devil in a few seconds. Okay, Will, do you think that all this bullshit started with Flappy Bird, or was it earlier than that?
It may have actually fallen earlier than that.
All right.
Back with, this goes way back because I actually witnessed a lot of how this MOBA stuff started becoming more popular.
Not MOBA, mobile.
Mobile? Oh.
You goober.
Oh.
You goober.
That goes way back, Sarah. I wasn't going to talk shit about Dota, but I was going to praise League. Yes, the League. Okay. For mobile, I'm sorry, I misheard you though. For mobile games, first off, I have to be the indifferent prick that everybody probably wants to shove barrels up my ass after this.
Got it.
But I basically have to say, who fucking cares? Mobile gaming has its standard of value as any other console gaming does. And I have a few great games that may have, in fact, helped the MOBA concept along. I am, of course, referring to games such as the Game Boy Advance and a few games on the PSP. These were mobile gaming consoles. However, I do have to bring these titles up because I do believe they delivered in performance in managing to be just as entertaining as console games. And these games, of course, I am referring to Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. Wonderful for the PSP. It was a good game. I am referring to Daxter, which it gave a gaming engine to...
Well, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you still don't understand what we're talking about.
I do kind of understand.
We're talking about shit like Flappy Bird, Angry Birds.
Yeah, you're talking about handheld consoles and like portables.
Handheld consoles are glorious. We're not saying why those suck. Come on.
Yeah, we're talking about
handheld
games,
consoles
like
are
games you get on the phone.
Get your head in the game, Will.
Okay, so you're talking about mobile games that shouldn't even be considered mobile games because all you do is tap.
Man.
All you do. So you're talking about these games that honestly I think I want to throw up about because it has no replay value.
Just talk about Just talk about games that you don't like. Pretend you know what you're talking about, and we'll just nod.
And all you do is sit there and tap a screen. Quite certainly, I don't enjoy Flappy Bird because all you do is sit there and tap a screen.
Speaking of just tapping a screen, do you remember Peter Molyneux's Curiosity Cube?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about games that are just extremely simplistic, like composed of just pressing one button. Because if the game is engaging, then it makes a good time sink if someone's bored or waiting for something to happen, and can't be asked to put in the skill of a game like StarCraft 2 that's obviously more demanding about skill and strategy. So mobile games, they have their separate appeal in their simplicity, and not having to be very in depth.
Most of its good games are just copies of tower defense games with their own rendition or slap of mayonnaise on it.
Yeah.
The only mobile game I really like, and my dad could actually come up with this because usually he absolutely hates most crappy games like that. He absolutely loves Flappy Bird. The first time he was playing it, he was sitting in the garage like he always does, just tapping it so going.
Aww.
This is a serious guy who builds cars by himself in his garage for fun.
Huh.
Hey!
Pretty badass.
Don't diss.
Yeah, he's a badass guy. But
my dad is a serious guy that works in die casting. You know all those fancy ass cars and freaking luxurious shit people drive around. My dad builds motors and parts for that shit.
Okay.
Don't diss the mechanics.
I'm not dissing that. It's just this is a badass guy staring at a phone about throwing birds at a house full of green pigs and laughing his ass off.
Yeah.
So there is an appeal in mobile games anyway. It's not like they're all terrible. So I guess most of the criticisms we'd hurl at mobile games, I think for the most part, would be for the mobile games that are themselves crap, rather than the fact that
you were referring to Angry Birds. You were referring to Angry Birds when you meant that, not Flappy Bird.
Well, I refer to Angry Birds, but Flappy Bird is one example of a game that actually that secretly sucks.
Well, I mean, like, when you mentioned Angry Birds, I think you may have said Flappy Bird by accident.
I did say Flappy Bird, but it wasn't by accident.
Oh.
You goober.
We can easily be talking about either game because they're mobile-based and immensely popular.
I feel like an ass because, like, it just seems like, Sharpwing, you just don't fucking get it.
Should we move on to another topic? Because I have another one picked up.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. When you were saying mobile games, it flew over my head because I didn't know if we were just talking about mobile games in general, or the fucking games I don't even consider mobile games because I considered mobile games to be like Game Boy Advance, PSP, the good stuff.
I'll just explain the difference so that you know. Game Boy Advance, whatever, those are called handheld games, not mobile games. Mobile games have to do with your mobile phone, which is why they're called mobile games. Do you get it?
Oh. I like Plants vs. Zombies.
There you go. That's a good one. It's not necessarily exclusive to mobile. I had that on Steam. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, but I think it started as a mobile game. I don't know. It may have started as a computer game. I'll have to look into that.
All right, I have another topic picked out. Disney.
In which case, I don't think it fucking counts.
I'm explaining the topic.
I'm Sally!
Okay. This is a rather broad topic. It's about Disney, which may include the Disney Channel, Disney animated movies, etc. Disney Channel's full of live action bullshit, and any of Disney's movies lately are pretty awesome anyway.
Selena Gomez. Miley Cyrus.
Oh, god damn.
Stop talking
Angelina
about
Jolie.
Things. It's now time to talk about nice things.
No.
Okay.
The sad thing, Ben, they come from Disney. They come from Disney.
When did Disney go to shit? Which is, for my opinion, when they stopped doing animated nice things and just went to all this drama bullshit, these soap operas, essentially.
So we're talking about, like, the Disney television rather than Disney movies.
Can
Yes,
we consider
we can
them
talk about Disney movies, though.
Okay.
Can we consider them soap operas while they're both trying to be realistic sitcom and fiction?
Guy shows up, you hear an invisible crowd going, "Woo!" That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't really understand that, but it also makes me frustrated. And if I were in that situation, I would not respond very positively. Be like, wow, I am really enjoying what just happened just then. No, I would not.
I know a lot of people. I think a lot of people are gonna crap on me because basically what you're talking about is like Disney trying to make their shows like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody and crap like that.
Yeah, I never watched any of those shows.
They were attempting to do
at all.
They were attempting to make sitcoms that kids would enjoy. The thing was, past sitcoms like the 80s and stuff like that was what Disney was trying to touch on, but make it modern. But they couldn't compete with things like Full House and timeless classics, especially that 70s show, which is something they seem to constantly try and compete with their constant recreations of sitcoms on the Disney Channel.
Okay. Speaking of sitcoms, there's actually one that I like, which might be a little funny. It's The Nanny.
The Nanny.
Yeah. It's just essentially a makeup saleswoman who got inducted into a family as the nanny. She's just this heavily Jewish character.
Okay. Yeah. Wasn't that a Nick at Night thing?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Along with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and such other...
Francine!
Very great. The good sitcoms.
To do.
The good sitcoms are on Nick at Night, people. We would respect it very much if you respect
Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
In my youth, there was no such thing as a good sitcom. I didn't care about real life. I just wanted to watch the nice cartoons.
Explosions and shit?
Nice cartoons. Yep.
No, well, just kind of... It just seemed more fun and kid-friendly and just... more wondrous to me. It obviously all these
Looney Tunes
and kind of
Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry,
DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck.
I did not watch any of the Disney I didn't watch the Disney Channel for any kind of remarkable amount of time, so I didn't. The 90s was a blur to me, so I didn't know any of that, Chip and Dale, Darkwing Duck, glorious stuff that I apparently missed because I was too busy being retarded or something.
Oh,
Darkwing
Duck.
Kid.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's okay. It's okay, sir, because he still got the timeless classics, which are Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry,
quality.
Dexter's Laboratory, Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Oh, hell
yes.
yeah. Powerpuff
Samurai
Girls,
Jack.
Precursor, My Little Pony. And Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Hey, guys.
Which I didn't watch
Samurai
that much,
Jack.
but apparently it was awesome too.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. But
Foster's
Samurai
Home
Jack.
for Imaginary
Samurai
Friends was
Jack.
great.
Fuck yeah. Fuck to the hell
That is
yes.
the best Cartoon Network show to ever show up, but I can only find the first 25 episodes of it.
Yeah, me and Viral actually went into countless studies about that, and Viral had come to the conclusion from all the information he had found that eventually Samurai Jack may return, completing its saga in one full movie. Now, to me, that would be sensational. Something that Cartoon Network canceled actually fucking coming back, shit on the status quo. If it's a good cartoon, if everybody enjoys it, and if the creators still have tons of ideas and passion for their idea, fucking keep it going.
Disney sitcoms would take a massive steaming dump at the mere sight of it.
Yeah.
It would just be like,
We can't compete with this shit.
They would shit out their entire selves and reconstitute themselves as foul-smelling puddles on the floor, and it would be disgusting, but for the most part glorious.
Yeah.
Cathartic.
And then Nick at Night would be like, countless classics, what you got on this, bitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, back on topic with Disney.
Yeah.
What are your opinions on the old animated Disney movies?
Fuck yeah, would be my opinion.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying fuck yeah, a lot,
I
but,
grew up
on
that
that
shit.
You say Disney, I instantly think, The Lion King. Because that's
Disney.
that's the Disney movie that everyone knows, and I can at least attest to being a normal human being and not a robot because I have watched The Lion King. I haven't watched many movies, and I want to watch like all the Disney and some of the DreamWorks movies too. But yeah, I haven't been keeping up with all that stuff. But the ones I have seen, like all the way through, Lion King, Pocahontas, Atlantis, Lilo and Stitch. Is that Disney?
That is Disney.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, that's Disney.
That one I watched only recently, actually, and Atlantis, because we
Toy Story
DVDs.
Toy Story.
But yeah, it's
a movie.
Great movies.
I always watched as a kid.
They're great movies and an inspiration. So it's kind of what got me into cartoons, along with all the cartoons of my youth, of the good old days of Cartoon Network.
Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast.
I saw Toy Story. I saw Toy Story 2 when it came out in theaters. I saw Monsters Incorporated in theaters. I was a Disney kid. Whenever a Disney movie came out, I got basically all the old Disney classics and stuff.
Bugs Life?
Bugs Life, that was a nice one.
A lot of these 3D animated Disney movies, Pixar movies, whatever, I haven't seen past Toy Story 2 or past Monsters Inc. the original, just because I don't want to ruin the little bubble of amazingness that happens with those. Such as Toy Story. After Toy Story 2, apparently it gets really weird, and it's just this adult kid college kid trying to find his old childhood toys and stuff. There's actually been speculation for if they made it up to Toy Story 9, it would just be Andy dying and taking all of his toys into his grave.
Yeah, that seems to be the direction.
You'll be fairly
further and further.
I will tell you,
people
are straying you. People are straying you away from a good movie because Toy Story 3 had actually a much more powerful meaning than that. And personally, I say that because I am personally someone that watched it, and it had a very strong meaning. And I think a lot of people that haven't seen it, when they do see it, will realize what I mean if they give it a chance. But it was a very, very good ending to timeless classics.
Yeah. I think Toy Story 3 is like Disney's Lion King of this time. A friend showed it to me, and I watched it with him, and it was a very emotional movie. It had a lot of intense moments that, of course, people.
Yes, and that's when you know.
Make me feels but.
And that's when you know Disney struck gold. That's when you know Disney struck gold. When they make you feel.
Yeah.
Yes. One more movie franchise before we change topics. The Shrek movies. I've not seen past the third one.
Somebody won't tell me the world.
Tell me the world is gonna roll me.
I ain't the sharpest tool in the
shed. It was looking kind of dumb with her finger in her bum and the shit all in on her forehead. I don't know the words.
It's her finger and her thumb, not her bum.
I think he did that on purpose.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next topic, which is Okay, this is going to be a more X-rated topic compared to what we were just talking about.
Oh, goody.
The do's and don'ts of porn.
I can't give an opinion on this because I've never watched porn.
Well, okay. On the hypothetical that if you did, what would be something you would not want to see?
Fat unibrow Sasquatch.
Oh, God damn it.
Never.
Ron Jeremy.
Maybe Seth Rogen. Oh, God, that'd be terrible.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm gonna go right.
It's kind of sad
I'm
because
gonna go right into like the deepest, darkest like bit of this discussion and say that what I don't want to see is vor or guro.
Oh, I don't think that counts as porn.
I don't want to see a scat.
No.
Oh.
Now, I don't mean to shit on anyone's personal preferences here.
Sorry, we just mentioned scat and you said shit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I see. I did that. I worked that out. It's a clever bit of wordplay, tying everything together.
Okay.
On that note, bondage. That ties things in nicely.
Bondage isn't bad. BDSM is though, such as 50 Shades of Grey level shit.
Yeah, Jesus, I've never seen that book. I'm not gonna watch that book, and I'm not gonna see that movie. I mean, read the book or watch the movie.
The best I can describe it. Good. The best I can describe it is a heavily abusive relationship that should not exist in the first place.
Right. I just want to like clarify to everyone in the viewers here that I am British and therefore I have a violent reaction to a violent aversion to any kind of sexual material stimulation of myself or anyone around me. I'm patriotic in my prudence. Don't.
I've actually heard there's a fetish for people eating, and I imagine if they made porn for that would be the single most confusing porn.
It's just people sitting in front of a camera eating and then getting many thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Does that mean like people watch The Godfather because they had an eating fetish at points?
No, I don't feel
because they mostly ate like spaghetti at a restaurant most of the time, which is racist, I know, but that actually happened.
I think I've spent enough time on the internet to know that fetishes are out there, and I just can't help but feel a little bit uncomfortable when I see something that I thought was kind of innocent before, and it's like, oh god, there's a fetish about this. I can't enjoy this the same way, knowing that someone somewhere is getting off to it in a much more intimate way. Than something I might, mildly enjoy or look at that and say, how amusing. Something that seems safe for work, but apparently, has a different meaning to something else. Now, I don't want to condemn any fetishists or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's probably not right for me to, like, try and go out and be like, no! Like, I can't help but be, like, aware and perceive the kind of, like, sphere of fetishes and, what might be fetishized, but...
Yeah.
Speaking of fetishes, I probably get the most shit for having a clap fetish. Oh, fuck off. Don't tell me you don't have one.
What, ponies doing it?
Yes.
Well,
it's not akin to bestiality. It's just these things are so human.
Yeah, that's
what I'm attracted to.
That's my stance as well.
They're surreal human.
They're very human-like. They're enjoyable. They're cute, and I think they're quite visually pleasing as well. They're aesthetically pleasing.
Oh, there you go.
I wonder, does this mean you masturbated to any Spielberg movie you could get your hands on?
No.
I'm kidding, obviously, but you know what I'm getting at.
No, but just about anything published by TROY. Zone Punch.
God damn it.
There you go. I'm not going to leave links to this shit because YouTube will
yeah.
Pissy. Yeah,
let's
that
just,
shit on
let's
your
just
own
say...
if you really want to. I won't.
Yeah. Google
Little
is your
kids
friend.
who are watching this, get out of here. Bad kids. You shouldn't be watching
I already label this shit as mature, so
yeah.
If a kid finds porn and their parents aren't watching, it's not my fucking fault.
On a side note, with fetishes and stuff like that, just to be the interloper and that indifferent guy that nobody's going to give a shit about 80 years from now, does it really matter if we have a problem with someone's fetish?
It is. I mean, it is if someone who has a problem like goes on their own crusade to just be the biggest asshole ever and tell everyone that they can't enjoy things a certain way. That is not what anyone should do, and if they do, they should go and jump in a bucket of scorpions.
You shouldn't shove your fetish in someone's face, but the thing I've learned about people that hate other people's fetishes with today's society and taboo and things like that, they always shit on the wrong people.
Yeah, it can be either like a fetish or a hate of a fetish that can have the same effect that like brings down the whole mood and makes everyone feel uncomfortable, whether you're railing against the people that or for one.
It's not just like the people that have a fetish. The people that are against the fetish always go after the wrong people.
Yeah.
Like
they go after the ones that are an idea that is in itself a little strange but not harmful. It's the people who take those ideas and potentially make it harmful.
You got the same concept.
We have to find the middle ground where we can be human about this and say, let people like what they like. I don't have to like it, but it doesn't have to be my problem that other people somewhere like a thing that I don't like.
I spent most of my childhood around old people, and I've come to learn everything we have a problem with now will change then. The then time that we won't be in sync with. I'm just telling you that now.
All right. The next topic, I'm going to have to ask you a question, Ben. Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah,
no, I'm not Ben, but no.
Thank you, Will. That's very polite for you to butt in like that. I have, hang on, a learner's permit so I can drive unsupervised, and I am hoping to take my course, my driving assessment later this year so I can, get to the next stage.
All right. So the next topic is about our driver's licenses or learner's permits and the stories about how we came about getting those. Though I think I'm going to start because you guys kind of went on a roll there by yourselves.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
All right. So in the process of getting my driver's license, about the second time ever I drove was with my dad, and my God, he made me drive, without any experience, drive from a parking lot where he showed me some practice all the way home, and he gave me shit for never driving enough to know how to drive home.
Okay.
His main complaint about me was that I was staring at my speedometer because I'd heard all those horror stories about getting tickets and losing cars and all this.
Yeah.
So essentially, I drove a truck in such a way that he got hit in the face with a tree.
Uh-huh.
And it took me 20 minutes to get home because I had no idea where I was going. And he was upset the whole time.
And
yeah.
Well, I think there were several factors that could have been changed so that might have gone better, I think, in my opinion.
Here we go, Captain
Don't
Insight.
Worry. He told me to get to the right, so I did, and he got hit in the face by a tree. Bitch deserved it.
Well,
guess so.
Seems like we didn't need Captain Hindsight this day.
Yes.
He is the hero the city needs, but not the hero it deserves.
He's fucking useless.
You should have done this with that thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Captain Hindsight. Where's your twin brother, Captain Obvious? He's probably fucked off somewhere, so you'd better go join him.
Yes. All right. Will, your turn, because you took your driver's license test today, right?
Yes, I regret to inform it was the permit test and I didn't pass it.
Oh!
I'm sad.
Darn it.
I'm not, completely depressed about that because I know why I fucked up and I know I can fix it next time I go around and do the test. I was close to passing, so I feel confident that next time I do it, I will.
I was 1 point away from failing when I took the test.
God damn, it must be a hard test.
It's not a hard test. It's just if you fuck up on tests and you're not good at taking tests, you can fuck up.
Oh, I'm shit at taking tests. No wonder I fucked.
What you'll be tested on. Yeah, my brother and I, we were actually taken for our test first before we actually intended it to. So in the UK, it's a lot more lenient. I think my parents just got me a provisional license just really easily without having to jump through any hoops. So we tried it here in Australia to get a learner's permit, and so we were waiting for ages, and then we kind of went up to the desk and presented important stuff, and then we just got taken in to do the test without any prior knowledge whatsoever. So we both failed, but I think I was 5 points away from passing.
Without any prior experience? Damn.
Yeah.
Here's an opinionated...
It was one kind of question that came up again and again, which car gives way, that I couldn't figure out, because obviously I didn't know anything about it. So, I retook the test again, and it was actually pretty easy, because I did plenty of preparation work. So that's how I got my learner's permit. But good God, the hoops you have to jump through to get like a full license here in Australia. Yeah. Let me talk you guys through the process. You go to the DMV or whatever it is, the driving center, and you take the theory test about safety and speed limits and how cars and road safety works and stuff. So obviously the first step. So if you pass that, you get your learner's permit. Then you want to take driving lessons from an instructor, and if you want, you can drive supervised, like with a parent or with an experienced driver, where you're given a logbook that you have to add up 24 hours of driving, and then when you've done 24 hours and you're confident, you take your driving assessment, which is, like the driving test. You drive with the tester by yourself around a route and, don't fuck up. Then you're onto your second logbook, so you do the same thing again by adding up another 25 hours of supervised driving. Then you take your hazard perception test, where you're sat in front of a computer and point at things that might kill you or something, and it like a perception test. And then you get P plates for 2 years, which means you can drive unsupervised. You have to keep the P plates for 2 years, and then afterwards you can lose the P plates. You're a fully fledged driver.
Holy shit! It is a lot easier to get a license here in America.
Yeah, but it's also easier to get
just have
shot
to wait
to death
6
in
hours
America.
at the
So
DMV.
I'll take where I am. Thanks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shit that could happen in America. You could go into debt overnight.
Yep. You could.
The most dangerous thing in the United States is yourself.
Yeah, the most dangerous thing in the United States is the people, not its government, because the way our government is set to function is that they're not supposed to fucking get personally involved.
They're actually not supposed to have any power whatsoever. The power's supposed to be to the
No.
people, but we fucked up somewhere.
No,
Now they have the power
I've
and
read
they're still lazy as shit, so they don't get anything.
I read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. The point of our government was just not to be a tyrannical government. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You had
Speaking of
one
which,
job.
did you know that
One job.
Did you know that during the formation of our government as it stands currently with the Constitution and whatnot, the Second Amendment was originally put into place because it was firmly believed that our government would have to have a violent revolt every 10 years for it to still be as liberal as possible, I suppose.
I feel sorry for John Adams then.
Yeah, it was supposed to have essentially a violent revolt every 10 years. That way the government would constantly be put in check by the people.
So, do you think the Mark Brown riots are the violent revolt our government needs?
Well, if it escalates to the entire country, then yes.
Ah, shit. It has to be the entire country.
Yes.
So we're looking at anarchy,
It has to be
invasion of
enough to
Korea,
overrun
maybe the Middle
Washington.
East.
It has to be enough to overrun the entire government and topple it. So that way it has to be reformed again.
Yeah, it'd be really bad if we did that, because I'm pretty sure we've got a few countries waiting on the horizon to seize us when we're not protected.
Well, the problem is we still have the largest military force in the entire world. Even if we were to take 80% of our military budget away, we'd still have the largest military in the fucking world.
Yeah, because most of our soldiers are willing by moral merit and degree.
So, yes.
Not just money.
Unfortunately, even if our government were to fall, we still have enough soldiers and military power to tell everybody to fuck off.
Technically, we don't even need soldiers. We just need people that know how to shoot a gun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is a lot of Americans.
300 million people in this fucking...
Yeah, they just be like, come fucking get us, North Korea. I'm gonna Kim Jong-un your ass.
Might want to
You can't even hit us with a nuke properly.
We're not supposed to talk about big KJU like on any condition.
Oh, he
I
can
said
suck
Kim
my dick.
Jong.
I don't give a shit.
I said Kim Jong-un.
Exactly.
All right, we should move on to the topic. Another topic. Let's see.
Oh god.
No, let's not talk about that one.
Oh god.
Oh god, I have 2 topics in here about sex, and the random number generator keeps picking between them, so I'm just gonna flip a coin and say, fuck it. Alright, so I'm going to flip a Russian ruble. Give me a second. Okay, so the topic that won is why no sex in video games? Which is essentially, why is it that developers are so afraid to put sex into video games nowadays?
We had hot coffee in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, but that was just two characters clipping through each other.
Well, I mean, explicit hardcore penetration and whatnot.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't want to see that, personally. I will not speak for everyone in the entire world, but I would not want to see that. There's plenty of content that video games can imply implicitly.
Of course.
That, of course, I can understand what's going on. But I do think it brings up another topic in that it's weird how this kind of human civilization, or like in the West, has developed where like the naked human body is the most offensive thing in the world and must be censored and stuff. But you know, blowing people into fine red mist with explosives and, you know, riddling them with bullets and microwaving them is more acceptable and able to be shown and conveyed in video games.
Well, if a kid stumbles upon it, they're not going to have their innocence completely taken away by the fine red mist shit.
Why not? What makes that less damaging than?
I'm pretty sure slaughter and bloodshed would take away a child's innocence.
Yeah, I think.
Well, the reasoning. I'm going to be devil's advocate here, and I suppose that the reasoning behind it is specifically, for whatever reason, to our children, we keep telling them that sex isn't a thing, that they have to avoid sex, that sex isn't okay until you're 18 or something.
It happened to me. I'm a fully grown adult, and I still hate the concept of sex.
Which would also explain why a lot of people have a problem with gay couples or lesbian couples on children's shows.
Because for whatever reason, that will ruin the popular interpretation that marriage is between a man and a woman, and you can't have sex until you're married, and it has to be a penis going into a vagina.
So, like, I understand they're trying to preserve their religion and everything, but doesn't that still kind of fall under the category that they're shoving their religion down other people's throats?
You want to know something really funny?
They're children! They don't have rights!
You're right, they don't.
Yeah. I don't know if that's fucked or rational.
But do you want to know something fairly funny about that? And how our government was originally put together?
Hmm?
The state and religion were supposed to be two separate fucking things.
Yep. That's what the founding
religion was
says.
supposed to have absolutely
do
nothing
not
to do with
combine
it. Yeah.
state and church, or you get a ground-locked version of BioShock Infinite.
That would be hilarious if Ben Franklin said something like that. For God's sake, do not...
Guys, don't fuck this up!
Too late.
You had one job, you bunch of idiotic Nancies! Quit beating each other to death with guns and start building a decent country, you bunch of idiots!
Hey, Ben.
I would love you forever if you
won't believe
animated
what you
this.
sound like right now.
What?
You sound like Luffy from Nun Piece.
That's the point. He loves that animation. He loves that abridged series.
Exactly my point!
You sound so exactly like it. I'm very impressed.
I love it too. I love it. I have to use that, actually. I really do.
Good, yes. I will put it to good use.
Oh, also, Ben, I will love you forever and ever and ever if you get around to animating this at some point.
Oh, that will be
I just want to see that portion.
Yeah.
I just want to see that portion with Ben Franklin. For God's sakes, you had one job.
Yes, fucking great. I will.
All right.
I promised myself to do a lot of shit, but that sounds like a great thing to do. So I'll think about it.
You know me. I don't just say this kind of stuff for commercial advertising bullshit. I say that because I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
All right, the next topic I'm kind of excited for. It's your guilty pleasure game. Essentially, it's a game that you might say to your friends that you really fucking hate and it's the worst thing ever, but you still play it because for whatever reason, a part of you still finds it fun, or for whatever other reason. Such as for me, it's Dark Souls 2.
Yeah.
I like how the PvE plays, and I keep saying that the game is absolute fucking bullshit.
Well, yeah, that's
which
what
it
you
is.
said.
Yes, but I keep coming back to it because it's so ridiculously difficult, even though it's broken as fuck. All right, well, you go.
I'm just like laughing my ass off for no reason, and now I'm put in a very awkward position. All right, What is the topic?
Your guilty pleasure game.
Oh, guilty pleasure game.
Will you talk? I'm going to be up.
Does it really have to be sexual?
No. That's not what I mean. It's a game that you might tell your friends that you hate, or is generally disliked by a lot of people that you might avoid, but you still play anyway because it's fun.
Guilty pleasure game. Do you need a whole list or just one?
Just one.
One out of all of them.
Yep.
Shitty game.
It doesn't have to be shitty, but fuck it.
It doesn't have to be shitty?
No, it doesn't. It just has to be something that you might be guilty for playing.
Guilty for playing.
Yes.
So it has to be something people wouldn't like me playing.
Maybe.
Oh, damn. If I had a guilty pleasure game, it was so long ago. Anymore, I just play like fun, good games with my friends. I don't know. Would Unturned count? No, Unturned I think is popular.
It is popular. But
that wouldn't count. It's a weird ass game though, but it's fun.
Okay, it could count.
Yeah. I guess okay. Here's a guilty pleasure game. I played Sonic Ball with Longsword and friends.
Oh god damn it!
That is a guilty pleasure game. That was brilliant though. And
gotta go fast.
Longsword said he was gonna record it, and then like he shit fucked up, and basically that was a lost thing we never did.
Oh man.
It consisted of me, Longsword, Dookie. I'm pretty sure Gamepad was there.
Aww.
Yeah. It would have been great.
You do realize I have to link all these channels now.
Son of a bitch.
I have returned to do things.
You have returned to do things? Okay. Well, Ben, it's your turn. What is your guilty pleasure game?
I don't know if I have a guilty pleasure game because I'm extremely impressionable, and if I enjoy a game and someone tells me that it's like objectively bad, then I will see it in that objectively bad light and not like it anymore. And if there are any games that like aren't that great, I usually don't stick with them. I have a lot of games and I can't really keep track of all of them, but I don't know. I've had a lot of...
So if people told you Viscera or Kerbal Space Program or Space Engineers were bad, you would believe them?
No, like I'm not that impressionable. I still like have my own experience of things, but I just can't really recall any game that's sort of like that I might like contrary to popular opinion, because well, I don't really know a lot about popular opinion. I just sort of play games that I like. I suppose. Let's see.
How about you name a game and I'll tell you if it's popularly bad.
Alright, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Name Your Game game show, where you can win fuck all.
Oh, we don't have gaming segments, we just have topics.
Here we go.
Maybe we should have a gaming segment.
My guilty pleasure game is the original Death Rally made by Apogee, back before it was 3D Realms, and the other ones, with the eye. I'm so sorry, I don't know who made the game, but credit to you, because that game is always sort of timeless to me, and people complain that it's like, oh, it's just boring, it's just a top-down, like, cars racing around, like, 6 levels, like, endlessly, and you can play, like, hundreds of matches, and the game can go on forever, and there's not much going on, but I still find it just extremely enjoyable. I've played it for ages, and, you know, my brother got into it and sort of tried speedrunning it, and he can, like, beat the game in 17 races or something insane. Maybe not that much, but I think he just got lucky a few times, and so it's one of those games you can play again and again and again. And you know, looking past the simplicity, or if the game gets repetitive or boring, that doesn't matter to me, because first of all, the soundtrack is great. Purple Motion, excellent musician. Just the whole game just screams awesome. It's back from the DOS era, and I think I was really spoiled because I was brought up on like awesome games like Doom and Duke Nukem 3D, these revolutionary titles, and I just thought all games were like that. Then I look at, stuff that's a bit more modest, like Jazz Jackrabbit or Commander Keen, stuff I never played from that era, and I'm like, wow, I played like the best of the best. And, Death Rally, it may not have aged poorly, but it always has a special place in my heart. So, that is my guilty pleasure game. I just had to look within myself and find it. And
can I admit something?
Yeah?
As much of a gamer as I am, the only actual bit of gaming that I'm unfamiliar with is anything before the NES and the DOSBox era. I don't know what you would actually call it. Just anything DOS I'm not familiar with, except for Doom.
I think you'd be reluctant, because 3D Realms mostly made games after the Sega generation, I believe.
Well, Apogee, 3D Realms was Apogee way back when in, like, the DOS era. They became 3D Realms, I think, when, like, the PC era kicked off and they made Duke Nukem 3D.
Well, was DOS before consoles? I'm trying to remember.
I think so.
I think it would have to be after, just because, the closest thing you got to relatively good for PCs before the NES and whatnot was the Commodore 64.
Yeah, that was, Commodore,
God,
you are
clunky old piece of crap.
You are classic. You are classic, and you are classic and timeless. But Commodore, there's something I must realize about you. If I plugged you up into my TV now, you would fucking catch on fire, explode, and nuke my house.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting close to the end, so we have one more topic, which Ben, you might be able to help me out on. Will, I'm not completely sure if you'll know this one. It's difficulty in relation to fun.
Difficulty in relation to fun. Okay. Well, this is a good time for me to talk about Dark Souls again.
Exactly.
Dark Souls is I think one of my favorite games of all time. It is one that I have enjoyed the absolute most out of like all memory, like second only to like, gems like Bastion and stuff, which is just a complete blast. But Dark Souls is a game that will kick your ass, and it will kick your ass, but it'll say, this is the challenge I pose before you. Will you fight? Will you win? Will you persist? Because Dark Souls is a game that will...
Or will you cry like a little baby?
Yeah. I kind of... In the more frustrating times of playing the game, I will reach out with my imagination and like... think that the game is talking to me, and I'm like, damn it, I got killed again. Fucking Anor Londo, this bit is bullshit. Dark Souls, why do you hate my joy? And in my mind, Dark Souls replies, I do not hate your joy, but I abhor your weakness. So it's kind of like a challenge, a trial to overcome and become stronger. Just fighting, to get through the game, which is usually like really easy to get through the game on other games that are more casual and like less challenging. And Dark Souls is just, there's something about how the game is designed is that you know exactly, or you know more or less what went wrong and how you can avoid dying when you do die.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's something out of your control. It's like, I was fighting too many of those giant armored dudes at once. Or, I fucked up the dodge rolls and took too much damage. Or, like, I had no idea how the fuck that enemy works. Like, what the fuck? Fucking derpy crack frogs back down in the sewers. They fucked me up.
Let's see.
I will add on to that, just from my own experiences. And before somebody calls bullshit on me about talking shit about Dark Souls 2, I have logged more hours into Dark Souls 2 than Dark Souls 1, and I even said it was my guilty pleasure game. What I
Dark
don't...
Souls 2 is less popular than the first one?
Actually, it's more popular than the first game, but that's because it's recent. Beyond that, it's actually... I'll just explain in depth. You die in the first game, it's your fucking fault. You die in the second game, it's the game's fault.
Yeah.
And the reason for it being the game's fault is the developers were trying so hard to make it more difficult than the first game that what they actually did was make it so that your deaths made no sense. You'll dodge away from an enemy, they won't hit you whatsoever, but you'll still take damage.
That's a terrible engine. That's not how you make a game more challenging, people.
Yeah, right.
I can make a better game while taking a dump.
Yeah, and then the DLC, which I love the DLC of the first game, which is Artorias of the Abyss. The DLC of the second game, specifically Old Iron King. I love Sunken King. Old Iron King, there is a room that forces you to fight 7 enemies at once, one of them being a massive fucker that can kill you in one hit with his giant smelter hammer, and the other being smaller fuckers who can kill you in 3 hits with their axes and shit. You are forced to fight all of these enemies while there's another enemy buffing them that you have to have a special item to kill.
Jesus.
So unless you kill that special item, you're going to die at least a couple hundred times to these enemies. First time I did the Old Iron King, I died 300 times in that DLC alone, in that one fucking room.
Yeah.
So that's...
Like, I think...
So what makes Dark Souls 2 worse than Dark Souls 1 is that the Dark Souls 2 likes to throw more shit at you to be more difficult. But that's a very clumsy and lazy bit of design because making something more complex doesn't make it more fun to overcome. It just makes it longer and more complex and more frustrating. Whereas Dark Souls 1 was extremely good in its monster placement. You could see that like every placement of every little thing in the game was a well thought out and educated decision. It's fair design.
Yes.
And it's sort of very carefully and intricately and wisely designed games.
Yes. The first game, it punishes you for rushing through it.
Yeah.
Second game, it punishes you no matter fucking what.
It punishes you for
no
playing
matter
the game. It makes the game itself unpleasant just to add to the challenge, and that's not really the way to go. It's more of an abusive relationship rather than a sort of motivational one, where you can encourage your player to keep playing and do better. Rather than
currently playing...
You know, welcome to Dark Souls 2. That's the first thing in the game you can see. Fuck you.
Well, Dark Souls 2, at least the beginning levels are pretty fucking easy. A new game, anyway. New game plus, the game just really starts to fuck you in the ass.
Was it the first Dark Souls that you were punching a demon in the ass?
First Dark Souls. Second Dark Souls, if you tried that shit, you would get flattened because of the bullshit hitboxes.
And there'd be 3 of them.
And there'd be 3 of them.
I think I was watching you play Dark Souls 2, and you were getting, like, hit.
Really fucking pissed off. You could see my PvP there.
And I was just sitting there, and I was like, what is fucking killing her? Did the wind just suddenly decide, I am your enemy?
Yes. On that game, farming Dragonary, I got killed by a dragon because it farted at me. The game registered it hitting me with its tail, but I was so far away from its tail, it wasn't even funny. I was right between its legs, away from the hitbox, and it looked like it fucking farted on me.
So it just fucking, did fire come out of its ass or something?
No, it essentially, nothing happened, but I was between its butt cheeks, and I died.
Yeah.
The second game... If you die, it's the game's fault.
Yeah,
between its
90% of the time.
So what makes difficult fun? It's when you don't feel cheated, like when you feel it's your own fault that you messed up, and the game is fair and well designed. When it allows you to get back into the fight like easily enough and not have to redo a bunch of shit over and over again. Although Dark Souls does force you to do that, but of course it means everything is well designed and the levels are enjoyable to go through. And the more you go through a level, the better you get at it. Case in point, Sen's Fortress. I fucking hate the Snake Fortress, but I could do it now. Having gone through it so many times, I could do it again and backwards and again through it again blindfolded. Except for Scumbag Larry. Fuck him and his lightning balls.
Yeah, Scumbag
Larry. Me off like 1 in every 10 times.
My pleasure in difficulty. I have 2 of them.
Okay.
My first difficulty pleasure was Crash Bandicoot.
Ooh,
I love that game.
That's a good one.
The game was insane, though. Crash Bandicoot always upped the ante on its difficulty, always introducing new concepts and intricate designs that Mario could only wish he would reach.
I'm only going to say,
like,
slippery climb.
Yes, some of the levels of Crash Bandicoot history were nightmares, but it was always the most satisfying when you finally grabbed that beautiful, purple, glowy crystal and made it to the end of the stage.
Yeah, and that has another
always
factor
worth
in
it.
It had a great bit of optional difficulty as well. If you wanted to do 100% and get the trending, you had to get through the levels without dying and break all of the wooden boxes. Including the TNT crates that would kill you if you spun them, so you had to jump on them.
Like, the best the best part is as the Crash Bandicoot games went forward, they got harder. The hardest Crash Bandicoot game I ever played was Crash Twinsanity.
Oh, god damn it.
Which in on itself was its own inner quest, and you constantly collected the crystals. You collected the crystals in that, but the crystals were just so ungod-awfully beautiful, you wanted them.
Oh, God.
Just the texture and design they had on the crystals, worth it. The quest, the adventure, the cutscenes, the bosses, all of it, worth it. Complicated, difficult, played it time and time again, over again, found myself cursing, angry, frustrated, but still I wanted to play it.
Yep. So, yes, it has to be satisfying. There has to be satisfaction and feel like you've actually overcome an obstacle for difficult to become fun. If you get through something and you feel like, alright, well, you know, that was a good roll of the dice. I don't know how the fuck I was supposed to survive that, but I made it. That's not so satisfying, because it's like, well, I could have easily died. I could have fucking lived or died. So,
what did you do to Crash Bandicoot, Activision? You took it from being a great platformer to some kind of beat-em-up style thing like everything else.
Oh, with the masks and the monsters? I actually like those Crash Bandicoot games.
Crash Bandicoot was unique in its own rite of passage because it was one of its kind. There were no games that tried to mimic it because it wasn't mimicable.
Mm. So, you don't like Crash of the Titans or Mind Over Mutant?
I'm not saying I don't like Crash Over Titans or Mind a Mutant, but it was a different concept, I think, that betrayed the original idea of Crash Bandicoot and took away from the timeless classics I could play time and time again just for the satisfaction of beating it.
And don't get me started on Spyro.
I've already beat it.
I will not believe...
Oh god fucking damn it.
I will not believe in any Spyro games made after Spyro 1, 2, or 3. Fucking... everything about where the Spyro franchise went was wrong.
Actually, I like all the Spyro games up until this abomination they came up with that they claim is a Spyro game.
It's not. They just have Spyro in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
But anything before that, I love.
You're probably going to rat on me for this, but Skylanders is one of those games where you don't judge a book by its cover because it has the creative attribute and it gives the player the power that they want. It's fun for kids and adults, but it was never meant to be a Spyro game.
Yeah, it should have been its own thing, and so I don't see it as its own thing. It's like, oh hey, it's a thing that Spyro's in, and Spyro is shit now, so I'm not interested.
I think it wouldn't be as successful as it is now without putting Spyro in it, but it still would have been successful, I believe, Skylanders. Because it was, well, basically it was a new rite of passage era game. They didn't have a whole lot of games where you put trophies on a thing and take the characters, and basically this is basically the modern age thing of a collector's card game for kids. Disney Infinity, Skylanders. This time, you collect toys, you play with toys. You could be freaking 40 years old and play with toys, and your excuse is Skylanders, Disney Infinity.
Of course, Nintendo does that too with Amiibos, and I think that's not so bad, because...
the Amiibos are okay.
Yeah. They add little things to the game, but not that important, so... And it's something physical, so it's something you can buy, adds to your game. It's not like a DLC or a microtransaction, it's something you physically have. So I think it has more...
It's a trainable AI. That's what makes it different.
As for Spyro, I enjoy Spyros 1 through 3. Those are great. But I think something a lot of people may rat on me for, I enjoyed the Legend of Spyro series.
I did too.
I never
Two
got
reasons.
into that.
It had a good concept, and it kind of took Spyro and turned him into this new conceptual idea, which was likable because he had personality. Another reason I enjoyed it, Elijah fucking Wood. He's just an actor I enjoy.
Spyro Enter the Dragonfly was awful.
I like that one.
It's so fucking buggy, though. I think I had the GameCube version. I think it was on PS2 as well, but the GameCube version, I think, was the worst one. It had the most atrocious bugs and lack of functionality. Now, of course, you have
the
Grant
problem
Kirkhope.
it was...
what's his name?
Is
that him? The guy from the Police working on the soundtrack.
It was...
Who did the last 3 games, and so that's awesome. So the soundtrack lives on, and that's
buggy,
great. But the game itself was so buggy, I couldn't win any of the races. There were some dragonflies I couldn't collect.
Yeah.
And there was just too many things wrong with it, and it basically just kind of spelled the decline
did have
of the
a lot of problems.
Series.
And the sad thing is the only reason Enter the Dragonfly bombed was because people were in a hurry to get it out. They wouldn't take time quality, love and nurture their game, and make it fun for what it was. Add more worlds, more challenges, make the challenges beatable, do away with the bugs, work time and time, encrypt through development. The sad thing is Enter the Dragonfly, for what it is, the score it got, the way people see it as, and all of its bugs are an example of what happens when wonderful, amazing game creators make it all about the money.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Well, that and freemium games.
Money and time.
Yeah.
Or pay-to-win games.
This is what happens to our timeless platformers and our games to enjoy. They turn something great to something beautiful for the sake of the money. And the sad thing is, it still makes money.
All right,
so
well...
It doesn't stop. The course doesn't change. What we want back doesn't come back. It's sad.
We can only
all right, well, we're all out of time. We're all out of time. So as a disclaimer, the reason we talk over each other sometimes is Skype is a little bit bleh with its timing.
Yeah.
Beyond that, thank you for tuning in. This has been the SnuggleBear podcast. I'm Sarah, our Ditzy Dubs. This is William, Sharpwing, Willie, whatever. And Ben Paddock.
Yep.
Before we
it's been a pleasure, people. We will see you next time.
Before we go, I would like to keep this fable in mind. With games, the timeless classics that you enjoy, keep those treasured and valued. Because you never know when the developers make it all about the money, when those classics go away. Treasure what you enjoy, treat it with value, because you'll never know when it's gone if you take it for granted.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye-bye.
Bye.